When Lewis Hamilton sat before the cameras this week, he smiled. "We don't have any problems," he said about his Ferrari engineer. The sentence seemed simple, too simple. But inside the garage, the atmosphere told another story. The cameras cut away too soon, the smiles were thin, and in Ferrari, silence speaks louder than any radio call. Because in Maranello, words are currency, and behind every public denial there is calculation. When Hamilton chooses to defend someone, it's not always loyalty. Sometimes it's strategy, sometimes it's survival, and sometimes it's about control. Because this isn't the first time Hamilton has been forced to walk a political tightrope, and at Ferrari, every step counts. Behind those calm words lies a deeper game, one Ferrari doesn't want you to see, one Hamilton knows he must play perfectly. Today, we reveal why Lewis Hamilton shielded Riccardo Adami, why this wasn't peace, but a warning, and why the internal war inside Ferrari is far from over. Because this is not the story the camera showed, this is the story behind the silence. We don't have any problems at all. With that simple sentence, Hamilton tried to shut down the growing noise around his relationship with Riccardo Adami. But why say it now? And why say it that way? Because in Formula One, every word is a signal, and timing is everything. By the time Hamilton spoke, the Italian press had already turned the narrative upside down. Ferrari in full crisis, Hamilton to blame. The headlines were brutal, the fire was spreading, and the pressure wasn't just on Hamilton anymore, it was creeping toward Adami, fast. Hamilton knows this game better than anyone. Silence allows fire to grow. An open attack feeds the flames. But a public denial? It protects more than Adami. It shields Ferrari's fragile image ahead of Canada. And it protects something even more valuable. Hamilton's own political ground inside a garage still choosing sides. Because if the internal war explodes too soon, before Hamilton's influence is fully cemented, he risks losing control of the narrative. And Lewis Hamilton does not play short games. He plays for control. And sometimes, that means protecting the weakest link, for now, because this war has only just begun. From amazing to annoying. Ferrari in full crisis, Hamilton to blame. In one weekend, the Italian media flipped the script. When Hamilton arrived at Ferrari, he was the architect of hope. Now, he's being framed as the cause of division. But at Ferrari, the media is not a neutral observer. It's a weapon, a tool used to shift pressure inside the team. And when the political winds change, someone must take the fall. Blame Hamilton. And the spotlight moves away from Adami, from Vasseur, from Leclerc. It forces Hamilton's hand. Stay silent, and the story grows. Fight back, and he's painted as the villain. But Hamilton knows better. So, he chose the third path, the public shield. We don't have any problems. A message not for the media, but for those inside Ferrari. I am not your enemy, yet. And for the press, I won't give you the war you seek, yet. Because Lewis Hamilton understands something vital, this war will not be fought in headlines alone. It will be fought in trust, in silence, and in control. And those watching closely can already see the game unfolding. You didn't hear it. Or rather, you heard exactly what Ferrari wanted you to hear. In Barcelona, as Hamilton struggled with a difficult car, the radio grew quiet. Gone were the clear calls. Gone was the voice of leadership from the pit wall. And Hamilton knows silence isn't absence, it's intent. Every missing message forces questions. Is Adami unsure? Is strategy collapsing? Or is the team withholding by design? Because in Formula One, every second of silence speaks volumes. At Mercedes, Hamilton learned to read the gaps. At Ferrari, those gaps are warnings. A team caught between protecting its image and managing a war it can no longer fully control. So when Hamilton defended Adami publicly, don't mistake that for peace. Because inside the garage, he was left alone. And in Formula One, isolation is never an accident. It's a tactic. It's a test. And it's the clearest sign yet that trust inside Ferrari is fading. In Montreal, that silence may become deafening. Why protect Adami? Because at Ferrari, engineering is not just performance, it's politics. Riccardo Adami is more than a voice on the radio. He is a bridge between the old Ferrari hierarchy and the fragile structure Ferrari is building around Hamilton. And that bridge cannot burn. Not yet. Replacing Adami mid-crisis would signal chaos. It would expose weakness at the very top, and Ferrari's leadership cannot afford that, especially before Canada. So the order is clear. Maintain the facade of stability, even if trust is broken, even if Hamilton must play along. But Hamilton understands this game. Push too soon, and he risks being framed as the disruptor. Wait too long, and the old order regains ground. So he plays the long game. Protect Adami in public. Preserve the illusion of calm. but behind closed doors, build alliances. Because Hamilton came to Ferrari for one purpose, to lead. And leadership starts with patience, with knowing which pieces to move first and when to strike. The war inside Ferrari is not about one engineer, it's about who controls the future, and Hamilton is already making his move. 2 decades in Formula One taught Lewis Hamilton this: not every battle is won on track, some are won in words, in silences, in knowing when to fight and when to wait. This is where Hamilton separates himself. Charles Leclerc is brilliant but emotional, passionate, reactive. In a garage as political as Ferrari, emotion can become a weapon used against you. Hamilton, he calculates, we don't have any problems, not a sign of weakness, a move to control the board, a signal to the paddock, to Ferrari and to the press. I am not here to burn the house down, I am here to rebuild it on my terms. Because Hamilton knows this fight is not about one race, it's about shaping Ferrari from within. Piece by piece, word by word, radio message by radio message. He's not just surviving the storm, he's changing the weather. And every silence, every shield, every public move is calculated. Because in the long war for Ferrari's future, Hamilton is already steps ahead. Now, the stage shifts to Montreal, a circuit that punishes mistakes, a track where trust between driver and engineer isn't optional, it's survival. And right now, at Ferrari, trust is fragile. In Canada, there will be no space to hide behind polished parlinings. Strategy must be sharp, radio calls must be clear, and every moment of hesitation will be exposed. For Hamilton, this is both risk and opportunity. If cracks appear again, they won't be whispers in the paddock. They'll be broadcast to the world. Hamilton knows this. Montreal could either cement his growing leadership inside Ferrari or deepen the fractures that Ferrari fears the most. But this is where Hamilton thrives. While others scramble to preserve the old order, he prepares to take the next step. Because this fight is no longer about Riccardo Adami, it's about who will lead Ferrari into its next era. And in Canada, under the lights, in front of the world, the next battle in this war will be fought, and Hamilton will be ready. Now, it's clear. Hamilton's calm words, Ferrari's fragile garage, we don't have any problems, a shield, a move in a deeper game, because behind the smiles, Ferrari remains divided. And as Canada approaches, one question remains. Will Ferrari finally trust Hamilton when it matters most? Or will he be left fighting alone? Again, now I want to hear from you. Do you believe Hamilton is protecting Adami or protecting himself in Ferrari's internal war? Comment below. And if you see through this political game, type #stand with Lewis. And tell me, do you believe Ferrari can hold this fragile unity in Canada, or will the cracks finally break into open conflict? Because in Montreal, this story won't just be about points, it will be about power, about leadership, about who controls Ferrari's future, and we will be here, watching every move they won't show you. Subscribe to F1 Prime News, because what happens next could define not just Ferrari's destiny, but Hamilton's legacy, and the war is far from over.